Welcome back to Tianjin. We're taking a look at some of the best of the action from the second rotation of 6 rotations in this Women's Team World Championship final. The story so far, China have the lead, and it is China who are on the floor. To be precise, this is Dong Fiangqiao, number 253. 76-755 is the total score for Team China, ahead of the USA, with Russia, followed by Ukraine, Romania and Australia. But of course, China and America have been picking up scores in the first and the second rotation in relation to just one set of scores for the others. So therefore, a lot of action to be taken in just yet. We're going into the third rotation, just a few moments away from that, where the scores will start to level up. But nonetheless, good to see China in the early part of this competition, Monica, setting the pace.
Yes, it's very interesting to see that as well. Gymnasts who aren't working on multiple doubles. There, we've got double back pipe to finish, but with quite a lot of long axis twisting within the routine, are scoring well. And this is good. Whilst twisting is difficult to land in the early stages, it's much less damaging on young girls' ankles. And it's nice to see that well-performed twists and well-performed somersaults with twist are taking the gymnasts up high in the ranking. In saying that, I didn't see that, an Arabian double which he'd performed earlier, which is a second double along with the double pipe. So Dong really having the big stuff in there and getting the big score, 9.775. Good stuff there.
Well, this is the start list for the third rotation. This takes us to the halfway point of the competition. Russia with vault, Australia with the A-bars, the Ukraine on the beam, and Romania on the floor. Now, Svetlana Korkina is one to watch for on the vault, and she gets the action underway for Russia. Oh, and that's the first mistake from the all-around world champion of 97. That is bitterly disappointing for Russia. Now, was that her first jump, or was that a warm-up, Monica? I think that could have possibly been a warm-up, as we see another Russian. Yeah, we're just in the warm-up. Oh, hold your breath. Getting a little bit too carried away there.
Mind you, it was a bit nasty on the toes. She didn't come down too well, did she?
Well, it is Ukraine, who are currently lying in 4th position on the beam. Natalia Hodny. And again, just to point it out, the Romanians getting the beam out of the way in the last rotation, scoring over a point higher than they did to take top position in the qualification round. So, as pointed out, and very cleverly by our expert here in the box here, so far so good for Team Romania. The Ukraine must answer that performance with 4 very strong beam performances.
Solid. Oh, just pretending to make that jump with a half twist. The requirements in beam, they must have a D, 2 C elements, 3 Bs, 3 As. That was her D element, but with the point, if that had been a 0.2 wobble, then and it was a second D for which she'd get a bonus, the bonus would have been eliminated. 6/10 available for bonus, a whole mark for difficult combinations, and a double back tucked that got round, even though it chugged a little.
Left it very late to come out of that tuck. She nearly ended up on her knees there, but just managed to squeeze it out in time. And again, the Ukrainian team, well, 773 there. Really starting to feel the pressure. Big wobble there. Good recovery. The kind of thing that judges will never miss. Let's take a look again at that dismount.
She was just so stuck, and really she didn't take the first back handspring into the flick fast enough. But really great gymnastics. Good stuff. Pressure routine. Nice side somersault. Very difficult to land a side somersault with the chest in, and therefore your centre of gravity right over the beam. And if you lose it big time, and she did manage to recover. Then she just lost some impetus on the dismount, but nevertheless she got scoring dismount in, looking eagerly for her score, because she probably knows she could have peeled a better routine out in training.
38.586 the score for the Ukrainians, who are ahead of the Romanians now, who are down in 5th position. Now Boboc, Loredana Boboc for Romania, I believe, is next, and this is a very important routine.
Good opening there, whip double pike, but they've come out and scored nearly a mark less on beam, which for them is a bad sign. Whether it's a bad sign as regards the judges did not like what they did today, or whether or not we have some errors that we yet haven't seen. Very good tumbling, but not really intriguing where choreography is concerned. Front walk out, round off flick. Nice triple twist though, very nice. Yeah, so she had some good tumbles. Music to suit her routine, choreography to suit the music. Tumbling, compact, very, very efficient. But floor, to me, can be something special by somebody like Korkina or a woman.
Well, 4th position there, the score for Hordny on the beam. Let's take a look again at the best of the action. That piked double back there, it's one of the best we've seen so far. But again,
that really was a smashing triple twist. Lovely lift. Perhaps in slow-mo she might have got perhaps 90 degrees short on the actual foot landing. 9-7, can't sniff at that score.
That helps the Romanians considerably, now going into 4th position. Lying in 6th position, Team Australia. This is Alana Slater. Now again, Alana, part of an Australian team, delighted to have made this final. And they really would like to continue their rise to stardom in world gymnastics by possibly squeezing into the bronze. Just need a little bit of a better performance, particularly on this their A-bar routine.
Nice combination there from the Jaeger into the Kim Salto. Hop pirouette, a little bit soft when she hit the bar, but nice into the Ginger. Worked out of it well. A little bit soft in the lower back in some of her shapes. Another full turning and a big dismount. Very big dismount, and Peggy Liddick there with the Aussie badge on instead of the American badge. Enjoying that routine.
Face many of you may remember from Atlanta, helping Shanna Miller claim gold. And of course, that memorable gold in the beam, but on the A-bars for Australia, well, for me, Monica, still scoring consistently. And if the bigger nations or the more established nations start to make the mistakes, Australia could be the surprise here.
Oh, they really have done so well. You know, some good stuff here. And there, full in, back out dismount. Good variety, good quality skills. Just lacking a little bit in tension, a little bit of arm bend here and there. Every now and then we get one gymnast who has none of those faults. Now comes a 9-8, but 9.625 for Alana. Very good.
Moves Australia from 6th to 4th position as well. This competition now starting to heat up. the all-around world champion of 1997, the all-around European champion, Svetlana Korkina, for the Russian team. Now, the Russian team, after the first rotation, scored the highest score of the competition so far. So long, Russia have battled it out with Romania, only to lose out in the last few rotations. Now, with her first vault.
But those long legs, tremendous levers, so difficult for her to hold them round. The Yurchenko 1.5 twist, we saw her come to grief in warm-up, and obviously she's hoping, see, just under-rotated. Can't create enough rotation for those long legs, long levers, difficult sport for her to try and get the extra. Really, she could have done without trying to put in the extra half twist.
Well, a most gracious escape, but that really does put the pressure. One of the most experienced competitors here. Korkina, now 20 years of age, competitor and medalist in Atlanta. The World Championships of 97, the European Championships of 98, and a competitor, clearly, Monica, motivated to go to her second Olympic Games, and particularly in the A-bars will be one of the competitors that will start as pre-competition favourite no matter what the outcome of these World Championships.
You know, I noticed a great difference in the Russians' tactics over the last few years, because there was a time when they wouldn't have put Korkina out on the floor if they didn't think she could retain the title. Where now, they'll put her out on the floor as a team player. She may well lose the title. She's still a great gymnast. It just happens that there are others who are better. But at one time, they would not admit to that type of defeat and should have been left at home. But I think she can kiss goodbye to the potential of a title. But no weeping to be done. Just go back to the drawing board and work a little harder. She's probably a little bit miffed. Not the happiest face around at the moment.
Well, was that her second vault that we saw, or is she deciding not to take a second vault? I would imagine that that was the second vault that we were picking up, and we should be given her average score of the two. And, well, rest assured, that disappointment is not for her own personal performance. That is for the rest of her teammates and Team Russia. How many years is it that Romania have kept Russia at bay?
Since 94.
Since 94. How about that? So, coming very close, getting a fantastic start. Clearly a point plus ahead of Romania after their first rotation. But now the pressure starts to tell. And, well, just to remind you, 5 take to the apparatus, 4 points count. So Korkina's scores could be disregarded if they are a complete disaster. It's the name of the game. You win some, you lose some, and this is the first test for the all-around world champion of 1997, the first test of composure for Svetlana Korkina in her quest to defend her titles. Now let's get back into and stay with this vault competition for the Russians, because the rest of Korkina's teammates really do need to dig in deep, as Produnova, one of their new stars, is next to go. And I know, Monica, a gymnast, that you've got a lot to tell us.
Yes, and you see, I think the Russians know that they know that Korkina is a weak vaulter. She'll be up there as the 5th on vault, and Arkayev should have 4 good vaulters, so her score should not matter too much. He should be able to put 4 better vaulters up than Korkina. You know, she's leggy, she's world champion, she's aggressive, and she can mostly pull anything out in competition. But vault, obviously, she can't. But if he's a man as good as I think he is, he'll have 4 of the vaulters. Prudnova, powerful, very good vaulter, scored well in the preliminary round.
Looks like we're about to pick up some more scores from Team Australia. Oh, isn't that a beautiful picture? Just one vault goes wrong. And again, there seems to be, well, a lot of conversation here, Monica, with the judges. They're clearly not happy. We're not getting much information back to the commentary box, but clearly not happy either with Korkina's performances, the scores, or the Russian team's decision.
Well, it doesn't seem as though this is the panel in question. I can't understand it because they aren't in deep debate. But possibly it could have been that a complaint has been put in. We don't know whether, in fact, she's done 2 vaults. We weren't guided as to whether that was her first vault or her second vault, or whether she's walked off. There's Arkaev, man of the match, the long-term mentor and coach to the Russians team.
I wonder what's going through that mind right now. There it is, finally, 9.387. That's what's caused all the conjecture, and that drops Russia from 3rd to 6th position. So Prodanova now really does need to raise the spirits of the team and also put in some good vaulting. Prodanova, who was 3rd in the all-around competition of the World Championships in 1997 in Lausanne, certainly has the experience, certainly has the ability to mix it with the world's best. But with the star of Team Russia, Korkina, not making the situation any easier, this really is quite a test for this young Russian gymnast.
It is, because they know that Korkina is so mentally strong, and if she's cracked at the seams, oh, handspring, 2.5, big vault, very, very big vault. Not a vault to play in a team competition, though. Handspring, 2.5 somersaults. Put her hands down, massive tariff, massive vaults, but she's touched with the hands, which is 3/10. Not a wise move for a team event, not when she could do a handspring, probably Barani out, beautifully piked, huge lunge forwards, not very good form.
Interesting. Arkaev had 2 options there, Monica, surely, either to come out and play safe or come out and play your trump card and go 101% all or bust, and sadly it's bust. I mean, that really has thrown the rest of the competition, the whole competition, wide open, because they will now have 2 poor scores. Let's see what Prodanova can produce on the 2nd vault, and a perfect vault, well, we'll hopefully try and average out that score, 9.437. And these are not the type of performances that Team Russia needs right now.
No, and she's very near to tears. You see, it's very bad on the knees. You pop your knees on a very low landing like that. I'm so surprised at Arkaev to throw that one in at that level at this stage of the competition. It's only doing a 9.9 tariff on this one. 1.5 twisting. Split legs, brought a smile to her face. But when you've got that kind of power, I can't see the point. He obviously had his reasons. This is 1.5 twisting Suki, but quite a big leg split and only a 9.9 tariff.
Easily spotted in the aerial camera. Split legs, which is where the judges will penalise Prodanova there, and a step forward clearly monitored again from that overhead camera. Well, Korkina starts to do the job as team captain and looks to motivate Prodanova. She's got to put that poor vault performance behind her, but Team Russia really do need to gather within now, because they were clearly ahead of the defending champions Romania after their first rotation. On the floor now, on the vault, it is turned into an absolute nightmare for Russia, and you can see, well, there's a stunned silence to the crowd, because 2 poor vault performances from Russia really does leave the door wide open. 76.492 after 2 rotations. That puts them into 3rd position with a lot of work to do.
What amazes me is the lack of practice at failing, because they're so used to being good and gathering themselves together. But on failure, they fragment and all do their little bit of pacing. The rest of us poor souls know what it's like to be at the losing end and have team spirit in failure at our exposal. But oh, building, what do we have? A ray of light.
Elena Zamolodchikova, well, finally giving us the performances that we've come to expect from the Russians.
Double twisting Sukahara. Good vault. Vault, that's the vault number. Every single element in the code of points, right down to every vault, every single movement has a number. Every vault included. And each vault has a start value, and then they're marked out of the start value. 9.712, so that's a fair old score.
Let's see if Elena can produce that again and start to claw back the points for the Russians.
Double twisting Yurchenko. Right little powerhouse. Somebody who's dug down deep into her boots. bringing some spirit back to the whole team. Can't help but think the smile is rather nervous. Big top on that vault. She really did shoot off the top of the apparatus.
Elena Zamolodchikova. Well, we'll wait for quite an important score. 9-7-1-2, the first. Let's see if we get the second just in time before we take another break here from these live World Championships in Tianjin in China. And also, hopefully, we can bring you an update of the results. There is the confirmed score, 76-8-7-9. It puts Team Russia back into first position. More news and more live action after the break.